So why does this song relate to us? Well, in particular, this song starts by the singer talking about doubts. The singer were doubtful, right? In the first or very first few, they said about they were asking and questioning with the lyrics of thought we were holding on, aren't we? Or I thought we were going strong, aren't we? And this is they become doubtful because all of the things they proceed to explain, things like how they were feeling or having the feeling that this person will leave everything else behind. And there are also rumors, there are also doubts coming from others, there are fights and so on and so forth. Of course this will make them doubt about the team in particular, because they wanted to believe so hard that their team is a strong team, a team that holds on, but they question, right, do we actually hold on to this fellow members think that we are holding on? Or maybe they question themselves, is it true that we are holding on as a team? And this song in particular relates to us as a team because we just got to know each other when we were in 12th grade, right? Because we were put into the same class, and this arrangement is not in particular, it's something that we choose by ourselves, it's not our decision, but the school assigned this class to us, and the school just put it together as a class, and we didn't choose this. And so we have to cope with it because this was not our choice. And we meet people we never really talked to before, even if we know them, and there are some new kids, and we have to be with them for 3 years. And 3 years is not a short time, it's a long time in particular, if it's with people you don't really know or people you don't really understand. Because as much as we know each other, because some of them were maybe from middle school, but it's hard to understand humans in particular, especially we are just a bunch of young imperfect teenagers with imperfect of emotional capability, and we were put together in this one class, and the school will expect us to work it out, to make it out alive and stand together and go strong as a team. That's what they were hoping for, that we would be able to do. But of course there are doubts from ourselves, from each of us, because we in particular do not really understand each other that well. We are just imperfect, immature teenagers. Some of us have a bunch of life concerns. Some of us probably don't even know what they want to do in their life. Some probably do know, but they don't know if they will make it out alive, because they don't know how will they survive in this world. There are questions, am I really who I am? Because we're going through all this phase as a teenager, and we are going through a process of maturity. And because all of us are going through that process, it's quite hard to say the least that we are matured enough to understand people and keep our interests aside and work together as a team. Because we still hold on to our own personal interests, but we want to make it work. But how do we do that, right? Well, I guess none of us really expect that we will have solidarity as a team, because we have to acknowledge that none of us is perfect. We're just a bunch of imperfect kids put together in one room to work together to reach a goal and to survive these high school years. Tough one. It's really tough. And well, as much as we can say that, it's not that disappointing to be arranged into a room with a bunch of people you don't really understand or know in particular, because we made progress within the 3 years that we have been together. We have to acknowledge that maybe the teachers think that this class in particular is that class with people who are smarties, or the troublemakers are also here, or a bunch of people that the teachers don't necessarily fancy when, because they are always late to the class, or they play games when they're explaining. All of those person is his here. That class is diverse, and so we have to acknowledge that it was hard to work together as one team, because we are very much different from each other. But we have to also acknowledge that we made the progress through these 3 years. We made bonds, we made friends, we share memories, and we make histories together. Though it was not perfect. Well, I mean, if you put together a bunch of imperfect people, how could you expect a perfect team, right? Well, we have to acknowledge that we are imperfect, but we are imperfectly imperfect, if you know. How does that mean? And we have to acknowledge also that there were some friendship bonds that were born that we didn't even expect we would be friends, or understand each other. But one thing that we are sure of is that through all these 3 years, there's this tough high school and the process and the journey of each of us individually looking for our true identity, our true purpose in life. We both together survived together, and I think that's what's important. That's what we think important. And of course, each of us as an individual has a story to tell, but in this moment we have to put all of that aside, because it's impossible to tell a story of each person. But together we have our own story, and this will be our story.